If I wanted to sponsor a bill and it said, Americans, you have to eat 3 vegetables and 3 fruits every day, and I got it through Congress, and it's now the law of the land, you got to do it. Does that violate the Commerce Clause?
Sounds like a dumb law.
Yeah, I got one that's real similar to it I think is equally dumb. I'm not going to mention which it is.
But I think that the question of whether it's a dumb law is different from whether the question of whether it's constitutional. And I think that courts would be wrong to strike down laws that they think are senseless just because they're senseless.
Well, I guess the question I'm asking you is, do we have the power to tell people what they have to eat every day?
Senator Coburn, I
mean, what is the extent of the Commerce Clause? We have this wide embrace of the Commerce Clause, which these guys who wrote this never, ever fathomed that we would be so stupid to take our liberties away by expanding the Commerce Clause this way.
Boston is looking at options to fight the Battle of the Bulge. One involves banning the sale of soda here at City Hall and in all city-owned buildings. That doesn't mean you can't drink the stuff, though.
There's no talk of a ban of sugar-sweetened beverages in any municipal buildings. It's just a question of what gets sold in municipal buildings in our vending machines, for example.
Up on the 8th floor at the City Hall deli, the sign advertising the specials has a Coke symbol on it. The cooler inside stocked with sugary drinks. If city officials want to limit or get rid of these beverages, they've got their work cut out for them. What do you think of restricting soda in city-owned buildings?
I think people should have the freedom to be able to do what they want to do.
We don't want government to dictate our lives and decide whether or not we should be purchasing various things. If soda is legal to purchase, then we should be able to purchase it.
No, of course there'll be resistance. Part of our job before we implement any measure that's going to meet a lot of resistance is to talk to people.
Your help this morning in school cafeterias across the nation. The question many are asking, got chocolate milk? The worries over childhood obesity is prompting schools to take flavored milk out of schools. But the dairy industry is not going down without a fight. Kristen Dahlgren reports.
It is a dairy dilemma in schools, to serve or not to serve flavored milk.
I do not believe that chocolate milk belongs in schools where children can choose it every single day.
In Boulder, Colorado, kids have 2 drink choices, white milk or water.
Most chocolate milk has more than 50% more calories than white milk.
But dairy representatives say kids who drink chocolate milk aren't any heavier than those who drink white milk, and their diets are well-rounded. Their research shows when flavored milk was removed from schools, kids didn't turn to white milk.
We are potentially, robbing them of vitamin A, vitamin D, calcium, and it's a great source of protein for a lot of parents that complain that their kids don't eat any other source of protein.
Some health organizations, including the American Academy of Pediatrics and the American Dietetic Association, have stated all forms of low-fat milk help kids meet their daily nutrient needs. Leading nutritionists don't disagree, but say it simply depends where it's served.
Chocolate milk can be a treat for kids at home. Parents can choose to have it in their homes, but chocolate milk has no place in schools.
When chocolate milk has been removed from schools, kids simply choose less milk, period.
Teaching children how to maintain a well-balanced diet might be the real challenge.
I like soda better.
That promises to be a battle for years to come. Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News.
The National Dairy Council has started a $1 million advertisement campaign featuring mothers and doctors who believe chocolate milk should still be in school.
Kids spend so much of their time each day in school, and when many kids get up to half their daily calories from school meals, it's clear that we as a nation have a responsibility to meet as well. We can't just leave it up to the parents. We can't just leave it up to the parents.
Spice may be a good thing in life, but when the spice is salt, it could be too much of a good thing. State Assemblyman Felix Ortiz of Brooklyn thinks New Yorkers consume far too much salt. He's proposing banning it altogether from restaurant food, not even a pinch.
I think it's a joke.
Melba Wilson, owner of Melba's in Harlem, says you wouldn't want to eat something without any salt.
I don't think there's any way any chef or any cook, anyone who cooks, a mother, a father, anyone can prepare a meal, a recipe without salt.
And at the upscale SD26, where they use 8 different kinds of salt, the chef says they never cook with unhealthy amounts, but you need enough to make food taste, well, tasty.
They're going to start to say, oh, where is my food, my real food?
They're going to think the chef is to blame.
Yeah, exactly.
So just how much salt is too much? We asked a dietitian at New York Presbyterian, where even the hospital cafeteria cooks with some salt. She says more than a teaspoon daily does become unhealthy.
Some sodium is needed, both for health benefits, also just for food preparation. However, a lot of studies have shown that there are risks with eating too much sodium. It increases your risk for heart disease, for stroke, high blood pressure.
Ortiz has said that banning salt in restaurant food would save money in health care and lives. He's sprinkling in a $1,000 fine for violators.
The City Health Department is already trying to get restaurants to voluntarily cut down on their salt use, but eliminating it altogether, restaurant owners say in this tough economy, that would be like pouring salt in the wound. Carolyn Gussoff, Fox 5 News.
Bye-bye brown bag. A public school in Chicago is banning homemade lunches.
Little Village Academy does not allow students to bring a lunch from home. Principal Elsa Carmona says she created the policy 6 years ago to protect kids from unhealthy food choices. She says it's better for them to eat a nutritional school lunch.
Principal Elsa Carmona says the lunchroom serves excellent quality food with great nutrition, but exceptions are made for children with allergies or other medical issues. Now, the principal says she created the policy 6 years ago after watching students bring bottles of soda and flaming hot chips on their field trips for their lunch.
And to that, some angry parents are saying they know how to feed their kids better than the school can. A Chicago Now blogger offers a scathing response. It's getting more difficult to predict the target list for small-time administrators newly empowered to ensure the well-being of their brood by interfering in private decision-making. Anyone who's ever met a kid knows that kids are weird. It's a full-time job to figure out how to ensure a child gets necessary nutrition while skirting a number of irrational food phobias. The ban doesn't affect all Chicago public schools. The district allows individual principals to decide what works at each school. Still, Fox News reporters smell a local government conspiracy.
Where the food police are using a new tactic in the war on obesity.
The lunches are $2.25 each, which a lot of parents say, look, it's lining the school district's pockets, and we can make lunch a lot cheaper. A PB&J and an apple and some pretzels is about $1.
The Chicago Tribune visited Little Village Academy and found many of the kids were throwing away their uneaten cafeteria lunches, saying they taste bad. So a blogger for Babbel says, why starve them? How is a kid with an empty stomach going to perform socially and academically after lunch? I admire that this school is actually doing something concrete to ensure their students eat healthy lunches, but to require families to spend a set amount of money to feed their children what the school says is healthy seems a little draconian. For Newsy.com, I'm Anna Campaign-Romero. Multiple sources, the real story.
If I wanted to sponsor a bill and it said, Americans, you have to eat 3 vegetables and 3 fruits every day, and I got it through Congress, and it's now the law of the land, you got to do it. Does that violate the Commerce Clause?
Sounds like a dumb law.
Yeah, I got one that's real similar to it I think is equally dumb. I'm not going to mention which it is.
But I think that the question of whether it's a dumb law is different from whether the question of whether it's constitutional. And I think that courts would be wrong to strike down laws that they think are senseless just because they're senseless.
Well, I guess the question I'm asking you is, do we have the power to tell people what they have to eat every day?
Senator Coburn,
I mean, what is the extent of the Commerce Clause? We have this wide embrace of the Commerce Clause, which these guys who wrote this never, ever fathomed that we would be so stupid to take our liberties away by expanding the Commerce Clause this way.